Most riders trust the chrome and the logo. The rest of us trust the wrench. After 40 years in the saddle and the shop, we've learned that what Harley prints in its manuals rarely matches what happens on the road. Hidden in those service sheets are details that can make your bike run cooler, stop smoother, and last longer. But no one at the dealership is paid to mention them. Tonight, we are bringing those pages into the light. We'll look at 21 factory truths Harley never pushed in the showroom, everyone backed by the company's own documents and rider experience. It's not gossip, it's grease-stained proof. And we'll start with something every owner's been misled about since the Screamin Eagle kits first hit the shelves. Number 21. The rain sock myth. Harley never fixed. Every downpour exposes it. Riders trust that little fabric cover, but the truth runs deeper. Left on in dry weather, the mesh strangles airflow and dulls response. Pull it off when skies clear and the motor breathes like it should. Throttle feels sharper, idle steadies, and roll-on returns with authority. Many riders blame tuning or fuel for sluggish performance when it's simply that cover choking the intake. The rain sock's real job is to guard against water, not to live on the road full-time. Treat it like rain gear. Use it only when storms threaten, then let your machine draw clean air again. Keep it tucked in a saddlebag until thunder rolls. Your bike will thank you every time the horizon opens wide and the sky stays clear. The next truth protects your bearings at the pump and on the highway, proving that what you feed your motor can decide how long it stays faithful on every mile you ride. Number 20. Premium fuel. The optional. Lie dealers called it a choice, but the motor tells another story the second you fill the tank. Premium fuel, rated at 91 octane or higher, is not a luxury. It is a safeguard. It protects against detonation, preserves timing, and keeps throttle response crisp mile after mile. Regular grade gas burns hotter and slower, leaving carbon and stress that eat away at performance over time. Riders who fill up with the right fuel know their bikes run cooler, smoother, and stronger, especially on long highway pulls in summer heat. Some notice the difference instantly. The idle steadies, the tone deepens, and acceleration feels clean again. It is not superstition, it is chemistry meeting respect. A Harley's heartbeat deserves more than bargain fuel, because the price of neglect always shows up later in noise, heat, or lost torque. The next secret proves that silence itself can guard a bike better than any alarm ever built. If you've made it this far, you clearly know your Harley history runs deep. Drop a like to keep this truth rolling through the algorithm and hit the comments. Which fact shocked you most so far? Number 19. Silent. Security that still screams. Even with the alarm off, the bike can shout your presence louder than you think. The system uses motion and tamper sensors that flash the turn signals when the bike is disturbed, even without a siren. Those pulsing lights catch attention faster than a blaring horn in a quiet parking lot. Thieves hate eyes on them, and that flicker of warning is often enough to send them running. Riders who store their bikes in neighborhoods or travel with hotel stops appreciate this quiet strength. It guards without disturbing the peace. True security is not about drama. It is about control. The system arms automatically once the ignition is off and the key fob moves out of range, keeping watch when you are not there. It is a reminder that safety can be both smart and subtle. The next one reveals how something as simple as a kickstand can make every cold start easier and safer for longtime riders. Number 18. The kickstand start secret. Drop the stand, hit the starter, and watch the bike refuse. But not for the reason most assume. As long as the transmission is in neutral, turning the ignition and pressing the starter brings the engine to life without lifting the stand. This feature makes warming up the bike before a ride or performing quick maintenance far more convenient. Many riders enjoy this on quiet mornings, standing beside the bike with a cup of coffee, listening to that low rumble fill the garage. Still, Harley built in a safeguard. If the transmission is in gear and the clutch is released with the stand down, the engine instantly shuts off. That prevents a sudden jump forward or a hard drop if attention drifts. It is a simple piece of engineering that shows how the designers once thought like riders, not marketers. It is proof that the smallest conveniences often carry the biggest respect for real-world habits born from years on the road. Don't overspend, My best value gears and accessories picks are linked in the description. Number 17. First gear. Starts by design. Harley built a trick into its gearbox that old school riders have been using for years. As long as the clutch is fully pulled in, the bike can start safely while in first gear. It is a quiet advantage built for real riding conditions. Steep hills, tight traffic, or sudden stops where fumbling for neutral wastes time. With this feature, the motor comes to life instantly, ready to move when you are. It is all about control and precision. Ease the clutch too early and it will stall, but handle it right and the bike responds like an extension of your own reflexes. Riders who tour often or ride in busy city stretches quickly understand how valuable this is. It shows that behind every layer of chrome there is thoughtful engineering built for riders, not spectators. The next fact proves that even your ignition hides a small piece of security brilliance most owners have never used. Number 16. The hidden handlebar. Lock trick. Buried inside. The ignition lies a lock system that most owners never touch until it's too late. Instead of wrestling with chains or carrying bulky locks, a simple twist of the key secures the bars in place, making it nearly impossible for anyone to roll the bike away without access. To engage it, turn the bars fully to the left and rotate the ignition past the off position to the lock setting. That small motion turns ordinary parking into real protection. Unlocking is just as smooth. Turn the key back and the bars are free again. It is one of those quiet, thoughtful touches Harley built for everyday riders who still value practicality over gimmicks. Many old-school bikers still swear by it, calling it the easiest defense that never fails. It is a small act of control that says you respect your machine. The next hidden truth shows how one simple switch position powers everything except the motor itself. Number 15. Accessory mode. The dead battery trap. The switch looks harmless, but leave it wrong overnight and you'll wake to silence. It feels like something's wrong, but nothing is broken. That quiet pause comes from accessory mode, a setting built to power electronics without firing the engine. It lets you listen to music, adjust settings, or check navigation at a stop without burning fuel or adding heat. The trick is knowing when you are in it. In this mode, the starter circuit is intentionally disabled, so pressing the button will never crank the motor. To start, the ignition must return to the full-on position. Many riders mistake this for a dead battery or bad switch when it is simply the system doing its job. It is a small but clever design that protects both rider and machine from unintended starts. The next hidden truth explains why even turning your bike off the wrong way can shorten its life quietly over time. Number 14. Kill switch saves the ignition. What looks like a habit of lazy riders is actually one of the smartest things you can do. Harley engineers designed a proper shutdown sequence for a reason. Flip the kill switch first, then turn the key. The kill switch cuts power to the ignition and fuel instantly, while leaving the rest of the electronics momentarily active so the system can settle before you shut it off completely. That brief pause prevents electrical arcing and heat that can damage the ignition contacts over time. Riders who make this a habit often find their switches last longer and their starts stay cleaner. It is a small act of mechanical respect, a rhythm that old-school mechanics learned long before digital dashboards took over. Once it becomes routine, it feels as natural as rolling off the throttle at a red light. The next secret reveals how Harley hid a backup start method so clever it can save you when your key fob battery dies miles from home. Number 13. The hidden pin start code. Forget your fob and you're not stranded. Harley built a backup that only real owners know. The truth is, it's a built-in backup feature that few owners ever learn to use. Every modern Harley has a personal identification number programmed into its security system. If the fob's battery dies or gets lost miles from home, that code can bring the bike back to life. By turning the ignition on and using the left and right turn signal buttons, riders can enter their 5-digit PIN and unlock the ignition. Once accepted, the engine fires like normal. It is not a gimmick or dealer trick, it's part of the design, hidden in plain sight for emergencies. Riders who know their PIN never have to call for help or leave their bike behind. It's peace of mind wrapped in engineering foresight. The next fact shows how that same code can be changed anytime, giving you full control of your security. Number 12. Change the default PIN. Or regret it. The security code might protect your bike, but only if you change the one everyone else knows. That means anyone who's worked on, sold, or even demoed the bike could still know the original code. Changing it takes less than a minute. No tools, no trip to the dealer. All it requires is turning the ignition on, cycling the switch, and using the turn signal buttons to enter a new 5-digit sequence. Once saved, the old code is gone forever, replaced by one only you know. It is a small task with big importance, especially for anyone who bought their Harley used. Think of it like changing the keys to your house. It is about peace of mind as much as protection. The more riders who understand and use this hidden control, the fewer who get caught off guard by forgotten codes. The next truth shows how Harley built a mode that guards your battery while trailering, even with security still active. If these hidden Harley secrets caught you off guard, trust me, the next ones hit even harder. Subscribe now, because what's coming next will rewrite what you think you know about the motor company's past, present, and future. Number 11. Transport mode saves your battery. When hauling your Harley, one hidden command separates a clean arrival from a dead start. That happens because the security system senses movement and keeps triggering its motion sensors, draining power the entire trip. Transport mode was built to stop exactly that. With the key fob nearby, the ignition is turned on, then off, and both turn signal buttons are pressed together until a quick flash confirms activation. From that moment, the motion sensors are paused, but the alarm remains armed. The bike can be moved freely without draining the battery or tripping the lights every few minutes. Once the fob is back in range and the ignition is cycled again, everything returns to normal automatically. It is a smart feature designed for riders who trailer to rallies, storage, or cross-country hauls. Many owners never learn it exists until a dead battery teaches the lesson the hard way. The next truth reveals how comfort meets endurance when highway controls get personal. Number 10. Factory tender plug. Already there. Every Harley leaves the line ready for storage, but most owners never plug into its simplest gift. Tucked neatly under the seat or near the frame, this small plug looks unassuming, yet it is the simplest way to extend a battery's life. Many owners waste money on battery replacements each spring, thinking storage killed the charge, when all it needed was a few hours on a tender. That hidden port connects directly to the charging system, allowing any compatible trickle charger to maintain voltage safely through long winters or months of downtime. It is one of those rare conveniences built into every touring and cruiser model, quietly waiting to be used. Harley included it because they knew how often riders store bikes for a season or trailer them across states. Keeping the battery topped off prevents headaches, resets, and expensive replacements. It is also a small reminder that Harley still builds for riders who think ahead. Whether the bike sleeps through winter or sits through rain season, that plug stands guard, a quiet, faithful link between steel and spark, waiting to wake the beast. The next truth digs into a control feature few riders ever use, but it transforms comfort during long highway runs. Number 9. Cruise Resume. Remembers your speed. Tap one button and the bike remembers exactly where you left off, like it's reading your mind. The system's resume function quietly remembers your last set speed even after braking or slowing for traffic. Once the road opens again, a quick press of the resume button instantly brings the bike back to that previous pace with smooth, controlled throttle. It is not a gimmick. It is an engineered detail that turns long highway rides into steady, fatigue-free cruising. For touring riders covering hundreds of miles, it keeps the rhythm consistent and fuel economy steady. Many older riders discovered it by accident, realizing how well it mimics muscle memory on the throttle hand. It even helps on rolling terrain, gently compensating for elevation without jerking the bike forward. Harley built it for practical riders who value focus over flash. Once you experience how effortlessly it restores your flow, you never want to ride without it. The next truth explains how true neutral hides in plain sight on every modern gearbox. Number 8. Roll forward to cancel cruise. Harley found a smoother way to end cruise control. No brakes, no fuss, no jolt. Harley quietly engineered a smoother answer. On most touring models, a simple forward roll of the throttle instantly releases cruise control without any abrupt deceleration or surge. It is a small, deliberate movement that feels natural once you know it exists. This design keeps control in your right hand, letting you stay balanced and relaxed even when traffic shifts suddenly. Riders who log long highway miles swear by it because it avoids that harsh moment when the bike lurches or the engine brake kicks too soon. The engineers wanted to mimic the rhythm of a veteran rider easing off the throttle, not fighting it. Once learned, it becomes second nature, an invisible move that keeps the ride calm, steady, and controlled. That subtle roll isn't just convenience, it's control disguised as instinct. It keeps your rhythm smooth on the highway and your focus locked ahead. No sudden jerk, no lost balance, just pure connection between throttle, rider, and the open road's steady hum. The next truth reveals how Harley's neutral indicator hides a trick that every stoplight veteran will appreciate. Number 7. Rear cylinder cut. Heat off your leg. Sit through summer traffic once and you'll thank the engineers for thinking ahead. It is part of the V-twin experience, until the engineers decided to fix it quietly. The rear cylinder cutoff system was designed to cool things down without changing the classic sound or feel. When the bike is idling for too long and temperatures climb, the rear cylinder automatically stops firing. Air keeps flowing through the fins, but the engine breathes easier and your right leg no longer cooks against the exhaust side. The moment you twist the throttle again, the cylinder fires back instantly, so you never feel a stall or hesitation. It is one of Harley's smartest comfort features, hidden in plain sight, yet essential for riders who endure slow parades or long red lights on hot pavement. The system works so smoothly that most owners never realize it is saving their ride from overheating. The next truth reveals how Harley hid another comfort cue inside the clutch lever itself. Number 6. Heat mode. You can turn off the factory default keeps things cool, but Harley quietly gave you full control of the flame. It is a feature designed to protect both rider and machine, but not everyone enjoys the feeling. Some say it changes the idle rhythm or dulls the signature Harley pulse. What many do not know is that this feature can be completely disabled with a few simple steps. By cycling the ignition and using the throttle in a precise sequence, the rider can turn the rear cylinder cutoff on or off at will. It is reversible anytime, no dealer visit required. For those who ride in cooler climates or prefer the full, constant rumble of both cylinders firing, this control brings the engine back to its purest form. The ability to decide how your bike behaves, heat-managed or raw, is a small nod to Harley's respect for rider choice. Turning it off isn't about defiance, it's about feel. Some riders want the full heartbeat of both cylinders thumping beneath them, heat and all. It's a choice born from experience, from knowing that control isn't comfort, it's connection, forged mile after mile. The next truth reveals how the clutch lever hides a trick that can spare your wrist on long rides. Number 5. Tip-over mode saves the engine. When gravity wins, this hidden fail-safe keeps your pride and your motor from paying the price. It happens to veterans and newcomers alike. Parking lot slips, uneven pavement, or that one time your boot caught gravel. But modern Harleys quietly built in a safeguard most owners never mention. The electronic tip-over protection automatically shuts down the fuel and ignition if the bike leans too far past its balance point. That split-second reaction prevents the engine from running dry, stops oil starvation, and minimizes internal damage. It is not flashy and you will not find it advertised, but it is one of the smartest unseen features on the road. Once the bike is upright again, it resets automatically. No tools, no trip to the dealer, just common sense engineering. It protects the machine's heart while saving you from costly repairs or embarrassment at rallies. The next truth takes this theme further, revealing how Harley quietly trained its clutch to ease pressure for riders with mileage in their bones. Number 4. Slip clutch that eases the ride. Every rider who has logged real distance knows that long-haul clutch work can wear you down, especially in stop-and-go traffic or crawling through rally crowds. Harley engineers quietly introduced a mechanical feature that turns that strain into smooth control. The slip and assist clutch system uses internal ramps and pressure plates to lighten the pull at the lever, giving you easier control without sacrificing bite. When you downshift aggressively, it automatically slips just enough to prevent wheel hop, keeping the rear tire steady and your balance solid. When accelerating, it tightens back up, delivering full torque without fade. It feels natural, like the bike anticipates your hand. For older riders or those dealing with wrist fatigue, this one design change transforms comfort without changing the soul of the ride. It is proof that Harley can blend heritage with real-world practicality. It's the kind of refinement you only notice after hours on the road, when your hand feels fresher, your focus sharper, and your control effortless. Harley didn't brag about it, but veterans know comfort isn't softness, it's endurance engineered into every pull. The next truth uncovers how the brand's touring bikes hide a smart safety detail inside the braking system, one that most owners never realize is saving them every ride. Number 3. Linked brakes keep you upright. Few riders talk about it, but Harley's touring machines carry one of the most underrated safety systems the company ever engineered: linked braking. When you pull the front brake lever, a portion of the pressure automatically applies to the rear brake as well, balancing the stopping power across both wheels. The reverse works too. Press the rear pedal and the system blends in just enough front pressure for stability. It is seamless, invisible, and tuned to feel natural. This matters most in real-world riding. Wet, pavement, quick stops, or sudden turns where one misjudged squeeze can unsettle hundreds of pounds of metal. Older riders especially notice the difference when hauling a passenger or gear. The bike stays composed, straight, and predictable, even under panic braking. Harley designed it not to replace skill, but to enhance it, making good riders smoother and experienced riders safer. It is one of those quiet advancements that proves heritage and progress can ride the same road. The next truth explores how Harley quietly built in muscle memory for the modern age. Number 2. Traction control that thinks ahead. For decades, Harley riders relied on skill, balance, and instinct to stay upright on wet pavement or loose gravel. But modern Harleys quietly added an ally: traction control. This system monitors wheel speed and throttle position thousands of times per second, automatically adjusting power to keep the rear tire hooked. It is not intrusive or flashy. It works in the background, letting you ride with confidence even when conditions turn unpredictable. The beauty is in how it respects the rider. You still feel the road, the torque, and the rhythm of the V-twin. It simply keeps the bike from spinning out beneath you. For touring riders crossing state lines through rain, oil patches, or cold asphalt, it is a feature that can save a weekend or a life without stealing the ride's soul. Harley designed it to protect pride, not replace control. It is proof that safety and tradition can coexist on two wheels. The final truth brings everything home, honoring what Harley has always stood for: freedom that refuses to fade. Number 1. The soul still beats beneath the chrome. For all the technology, refinement, and safety Harley has added over the years, one truth remains untouched: the soul of the machine still lives beneath it all. Every click of the starter, every low idle rumble, and every roll through a small-town main street reminds you that this brand was never about perfection. It was about presence. No other motorcycle feels like it's breathing alongside you, balancing power and patience, rebellion and respect. Harley may have moved from carburetors to fuel injection, from cables to sensors, but the emotion it builds remains mechanical, not digital. When you grip the bars, you feel decades of riders before you. Every mile, every repair, every handshake at a roadside diner. The modern Harley may be quieter, cleaner, and more efficient, but beneath the chrome and paint, it's still the same pulse that built American roads. Some machines evolve, a Harley endures, and that endurance is the final, unspoken secret behind the legend. Every Harley carries a story, some proudly told, others buried beneath decades of chrome and silence. But today, the truth finally rumbled free. If these revelations made you see the brand differently, share this video and keep the ride alive. Subscribe and join the riders who believe truth and torque belong. Together,